All right, here we go. Chapter 10. This is Wednesday, April the 15th. And Chapter 10 is Cognitive Development of Early Childhood. These are our preschoolers. So think of them as little preschool children. And there's 3 theories. They're called general approaches. This is slides 1 through 11 because we're only going to do Piaget today. As you might have caught on, Piaget is kind of difficult. So hopefully you're trying to learn Piaget. All right, so Piaget. We did stage 1, which was sensory motor, and you learned 6 substages. And those were our little children, like 0 to age 2. And now we're going to go on to stage 2, which is called pre-operational. I'm now on the 3rd slide. Hopefully you're following along and you have written these notes out first. So pre-operational, these are our preschoolers, and they can't logically think. So you kind of listen to them and you're like, they sound like, I'm going to say they sound like little idiots because they can't do mental operations, and like there's no logic to the things they say and do, and it's just because they're pre-operational. So here we go. There are 5 areas that you study as opposed to 6 substages. Pre-operational children, Piaget has broken it down into 5 areas that we're going to study. All right, so here we go. They can't follow deductively. They can't think ahead to the consequences. The 5 areas. The first one is called egocentrism. It says to center on oneself. Little kids, they can't take someone else's point of view. It's kind of like they think the whole world revolves around them. They can't think what somebody else might think. If a little child's crying, a lot of times they'll go, why is he crying? Why is he crying? You know, they saw the kid fall down, but they'll be like, why is he crying? They can't put themselves into the shoes of another person. So that's called egocentrism. There's a video. It's called the 3 Mountain Experiment. Make sure you watch that. Very famous. You know, everyone who learns Piaget learns the 3 Mountain Experiment. Egocentric speech. There's a video. My son was willing to help me with that one. So that's called egocentric speech. And just as I said, they can only view the world from their little perspective, from their set of eyes and what they're seeing. That's called egocentrism. All right, from there we go to what's called real versus fake. And so real versus fake, in your videos, or excuse me, in your slides, you learn, for instance, Mickey Mouse at Disney. So here's a picture I'm going to hold up. And this would be like, you know, there's a bunny rabbit. Look at that girl just screaming her head off. You know, she doesn't understand. She's scared to death of that big thing. So you have to be very careful with little kids this age, especially for Halloween and things like this. Then it says Maynard. Maynard was a black cat. And there's Maynard. So they would show kids this black cat. And then they put this ferocious dog mask. See where my hands are? And the kids couldn't see them, and he was behind a curtain. So they take the curtain away, and this would be him. And they'd actually ask the kids, you know, is Maynard still a cat? And the kids would go, no, he's a ferocious dog now. He's a real cat. And so this just shows you the line of at what age they understand. Little kids, they do not understand that Maynard is still a cat. And then it's not until they get older that they would get it correct, that they understand Maynard is still a cat with a mask on. So that's real versus fake. There's a little thing that says imaginary box. This would be child 1 and child 2. Just imagine this. Child 1. Pretend there's a monster coming. Child 2. No, don't pretend that. Child 1. Okay, why? Child 2. Because it's too scary, that's why. Like the monster's in the box, that kind of thing. All right, and then the last thing I have for this one, excuse me for 1 second. Oh my gosh, I was already a minute ago. Here we go. This is Melissa. And I tell you, if I taught preschool, I'd bring in Melissa every day. Because for little kids, Melissa is alive. She comes out and reads with the kids, and they love it. And she's just an amazing little monkey that can help teach your class. And for a little kid who's in the real versus fake, Melissa's definitely alive. Every time she comes out. She's an adorable little thing. Are you a good girl, Melissa? Yes, you are. Yeah, you're a good girl. So this would be another example of real versus fake for a little child. Okay, got that. There goes Melissa. Okay, so next, yep, hanging on. Number 3. We'll go through this really fast. Number 3 is pre-causal reasoning. And this one also has a video that you're going to want to watch. But they don't understand cause and effect, that this causes that. And there's something called transductive reasoning. Trans, think of the word across, transatlantic flight, trans-Pacific Railroad, transcontinental railroad, excuse me, thing that goes across. Well, kids kind of jump to conclusions, and it's called transductive reasoning. There's a video. I read something to you, so just read it. All right, and moving right along. Next we have theory of the mind. Theory of the mind, awareness and understanding of mental processes and that others have their own beliefs. So that kind of goes along with egocentrism, that they can't figure out why you don't think the exact same way that they think. For instance, a little 4-year-old would say, I believe I'll go outside now. And mom goes, I believe it's raining and you're not going outside right now. And she's like, well, how can mommy take a different view than me? Let's go out. We're going out. That kind of thing. So make sure you watch the video of transductive reasoning. Okay, then comes number 4. Oh, I got it ahead of me. I'm sorry. I got ahead and I read theory of the mind. But in any case, theory of the mind. So that was this idea that they don't understand what someone else might be thinking. They all kind of sound alike. But in any case, there's a really cute video on this one. And so watch the video. It's called The False Belief Task. And they hide a little doll. And they get a little kid to try to figure out where the doll might be hiding. And that's called a false belief task. It goes under theory of the mind, that a child can't think what somebody else would be thinking. All right, and the last one for today is number 5, conservation. 2 things are equal, even if their appearance is altered. Very famous video. There's 2 of them. Watch both of the videos. And they have conservation of both number. It's a little boy. He's so cute. He's got like a patch of hair missing, or it doesn't have hair growing right here yet. Watch the little kid. And conservation of volume. Conservation of volume, they call it the rocket fuel test with 2 beakers of water. So just watch that video also. I don't talk a lot today because there are 6 videos that go along with this. And so it all essentially probably adds up to like 40 minutes if you watch this and take notes, because I will post chapter 10 notes. And then you want to go through Piaget. Number 1, let me go through them to make sure you got them. Number 1, egocentrism. Number 2, real versus fake. Number 3, pre-causal reasoning. That's like transductive reasoning. Number 4, theory of the mind. And number 5 is conservation. So those are Piaget's 5 areas that you study to try to learn him. All right, then the other thing I'm going to finish with is how you get the other 10 points on your assignment. So you all guessed at your answers, and a lot of you did really well. You had really good answers for your guesses. Now I'm going to give you the actual answers, so all you got to do is listen to this, pause it when you need it, fill in the correct answers, and you get the other 10 points. So the whole assignment is 20 altogether. And that's all you had to do today. Okay, so it was a good week. Monday was really easy, and today is Wednesday. One other thing about Monday, when I teach with face-to-face, chapter 9 really is that simple. We just get after a few questions that we want to make sure we understand through discussion. And there's no slides for chapter 9. Okay, so here's the answers to Monday's questions. Number 1, body proportion. The arms and legs get longer. So remember how out of proportion when I stood there in front of the classroom said like my head would be down to here if I was a baby? Well, now the arms and legs, they start to grow, and they add these little like growth plates in there, and they have to practice and play to make their little arms and legs strong. Number 2, how many hours of sleep should they get? 12. They should get 12 hours of sleep. Now this includes a nap. In a nap, most children nap for maybe 2 hours, all the way through. Like 4-year-olds should still be taking naps, because a lot of them, depends on when they go to bed and what time they have to get up in the morning. But a lot of them, we're hoping they're getting like 10 hours through the night, and that's when you grow in your sleep, so you got to stay asleep the whole time. And then an additional 2 hours with that nap. They should be getting 12 hours. Big muscle skills, outside. You want that child every day, even in the winter, to go outside and play on big playground equipment, climbing ladders, sliding down slides, swinging on swings, climbing up the monkey bars, all these different things that use their big motor skills. More injuries. Do kids die more from injury or illness? It's injury. It's so sad. When you hear this statistic, it's very sad. More children die from injury than from illness, and the number one cause of injury is car wrecks. So that poor little child is buckled in the back of a car. They have no say in any of this, and that's the number one cause of children dying is car wrecks. The leading cause of death from illness is pneumonia. It's not the coronavirus. It's pneumonia. And 7 foods. A lot of you got almost every single one of these. Here we go, the 7 foods. These are in order. Milk, lactose intolerance. Eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, fish, soy, and wheat. And if you would put wheat and gluten, those are the same thing. So some of you had like everything, but you had that one not quite right. Number 6, tooth decay. How sad is this also? The number one cause of children's tooth decay they are finding is pop. It's soda pop. It's Coca-Cola, Sprite, Mountain Dew. Like, who's feeding this to these 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds? People. You go to McDonald's and kids get a Happy Meal. They could get milk. No, they get a Coke. And they're finding that to be the number one reason for tooth decay. And then here's the last one. Bronchitis and asthma. What is the number one cause for these kind of disorders or problems with their breathing? It's secondhand smoke. It's having a smoker in the house. So generally speaking, if no one smokes in the house, it's more likely that the child will not have asthma, will not get bronchitis as much, will not get these kind of disorders with their lungs. All right, have a happy Wednesday, and it's already April 15th. We're doing great. Okay, see ya.